Why did the Jews bring, after having condemned Jesus to death, why did they decide to bring Jesus before Pilate for a new trial? The reason is very simple. This had been so because the Jews themselves had no authority to carry out a legal death sentence. This power belonged to the Romans. The Romans therefore had attributed the sovereign power to themselves, that one could say the supreme power to execute a criminal. So the Jews, if they sentenced someone to death, it had to be ratified by another Roman trial. And what this trial demonstrated, which they organized in the morning of the courtyard with Pilate, is that it had been improvised, and that they had begun by acting awkwardly. This had meant that they were going to say to Pilate, "We are bringing Jesus to you because he had committed religious crimes. He calls himself Messiah. He calls himself the spiritual king of the Jews," things for which Pilate obviously cannot condemn him for. And Pilate replied, "Judge him according to your own law." But they answered, "We do not have the power to execute someone," which indicates to Pilate how they have found the case of this man extremely serious. This is found in the Gospel according to St. John chapter 18, that this trial must be read before Pilate, because St. John apparently had his side entries to such places like that with powerful people. He had been young, went unattested, and he knew more. The same story in other Gospels is more succinct, but here we see how the trial unrolled in detail. You should also understand that Pilate, having been warned in a dream by his wife Claudia that a righteous man would be brought before him and that he should not be involved in this affair, he had done everything in order to try to save Jesus, and that's the way it had been. Pilate, a man who was both political, who could get rid of this beggar anyway, and at the same time, and secondly, a superstitious man who thought that there was something profound in Jesus, that Pilate's attitude is finally cowardice, will explain his actions.